guys, so I thought I would try some new makeup with you today. I don't have a full face, but I have a couple things that I'm really dying to try. I went out to Sephora and purchased the new Giorgio Armani Neo Nude Melting Color Balm for cheeks and eyes. I got 3 colors here. So I definitely, sorry, I'm fighting a lot of sunlight here. I really wanted to try these, and Hourglass sent me their Curator eyeshadow. So I really wanted to give those a shot as well. Persona Cosmetics, they sent me their new brow gel product. There's a company called 1999, and I started following them on Instagram because one of my favorite makeup artists, Lisa Aaron, was using one of their eyeliners. Anyway, I started following them, and then they reached out to me and asked if they could send me some things. So they sent me their lash tint mascara, which I definitely want to try today. And then they also sent me some lip liners and a lip gloss, which I don't know if I'll get to today because Bobbi Brown sent me 6 of their extra lip tints. So I wanted to try these because I have a few of these and I really enjoy the texture and like the very light pigmentation that they have, and they're just really comfortable on the lips, and it's just, for me, it's just like perfect for the summertime. So that's what we have to play with today. I just put a little bit of my favorite Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer down pretty much all over my face, around my eyes and like down on my cheeks where I have some discoloration. And then I threw some bronzer on, which is the Chantecaille Real Bronze in Goa. So that's what I'm starting with, and I want to jump in and try these Armani Neo Nude Color Balms. I got shades 20, 30, and 50. So the packaging on these is incredible. I love how they're color coded on top. I mean, just so good. There's like a really nice weight to the compacts. There's a mirror on the inside, and then you have your color balm in there. I have to admit, it looks, oh, this is a very interesting texture. It doesn't look very balmy, is what I'm trying to say. It looks almost like an eyeshadow. And when you run your finger on there, it definitely has like a creamy, like cream powder kind of feel. Ooh, so interesting. Let me just go ahead and swatch all of these for you. All right, so here is 20, 30, and then 50. 50 I thought was gonna be more of like a pink, but it's actually a pretty cool toned deep mauve shade. So very pretty, and if I like this formula, I may actually get all the other shades because so far these are very promising. I think what I wanna do is try number 30, and I guess I'll just use my finger. Wow, I feel like I've picked up too much very easily there. Bit of like a dryness to it. It's not too balmy in any way. It's not too wet in any way. So it just goes on and kind of behaves like it stays put. These are really neat. That is one cheek. And this mirror's a little small, but I can definitely see what's going on my cheek here. So they also have an interesting finish. They're not quite matte, but there's just a little bit of a sheen to them, which is hard to describe. I mean, I guess it's more of like a demi-satin finish. Huh, really pretty. Let me go ahead and apply to the other side here. Well, this shade is really beautiful. If you're into like an orangey kind of blush, ooh, you're really gonna like this. All right, first impression is I really like these. They're very different from what I'm used to, like the texture is very different, so I think I just need to kind of get used to them a little bit and see if I actually fall in love with them. But right now I can say I really like them. I like the subtle sheen that they have. Just makes your cheek look like a muted kind of glossy. It's really pretty. All right, next, brows. So I have the Persona Brow Gel, and I took out the shade Charcoal. They actually sent a couple shades to me, but I think Charcoal is gonna work best. So here is what the packaging looks like. It is called Swipe Up. Oh, it's got a nice spoolie. It's not too teeny tiny. It's definitely smaller than the average mascara wand, but it's actually kind of similar to the Tom Ford one. All right, this seems to be just a straight up brow gel. There's no fibers or anything in there. And And I gotta say, I like the texture. There's definitely a little bit of like a pomade feel. It's like thicker than your typical gel. And it brushed in really nicely, and it has definitely helped define my brows for sure. And the color charcoal is really, really good. I like that it's like a true charcoal, like there's no warmth to it whatsoever. It's like a dark gray color. Oh, and it seems to be setting down nicely. Okay. All right, so that is the Persona Swipe Up Brow Gel. I think this is only available on their site right now, and then it's gonna be available at Ulta towards the end of this month. And let me just take a look. Oh, and it's $19 each. So here are the shades that are gonna be available. All right, next up, let's try these new Hourglass eyeshadows. So Hourglass came out with these new eyeshadows. They came out with these refillable, customizable palettes. They have single, a trio, and then a quint. So they actually reached out and asked me to pick 5 shadows to put in here. So these are the 5 that I ended up picking. And let me go ahead and give you some swatches here. So the first shade on the left is called Alt, and that's in the satin finish. The next shade is Apt, which is in the satin finish. Next is Ion, which is metallic finish. And then we have Eve, which is a shimmer finish. And then lastly, we have Ace, which is a matte finish. So when I picked out these shades, I wanted to make sure that I got all of the different finishes. So they've come out with 4 different finishes, which is the matte, the satin, the metallic, and the shimmer. So these eyeshadow pans aren't magnetized. They're actually pop into this plastic piece in here. And this plastic piece is like 100% reused plastic. And then this tin is fully recyclable. So I thought that was very interesting. So these palettes were made in China and these shadows are made in France. So I'm gonna start with this first, the lightest shade here, which is Alt, and it has a satin finish. And I just wanna put this all over my lid and just to kind of get a sense of these shadows. I have not used these shadows yet at all. Well, they're really, really creamy. That is for sure. There's almost like a thickness to these eyeshadows. Like they really kind of stick to my eyelid here. All right, so there is Alt on the eyes. Really pretty color. It is definitely on the cooler side if you're into like a very, very light kind of taupe shade. I'm just trying to take a look and see if there's any sort of fallout. No fallout with that shade, but let's move on and try this next shade here, which is called Apt. And I'm just wiping off my Sonia G Worker 1 brush, and let's go into Apt here. I feel like these eyeshadows are kind of behaving like almost like a putty shadow. Like there's a little bit of a cream feeling to them, and I don't know, I kind of describe them as putty because they're also, like I said, they kind of stick to the eye. They apply really easily, and they do blend out really nicely despite, that thickness and the way they kind of stick to my eye. I don't find them hard to move at all. Okay, so that was Apt. And then next I have Ion, which is a metallic shade. I'm just gonna apply this maybe just a little bit to the inner corner here. And I'm gonna use my Sonia G Pencil 1 brush. Pick up a little bit there. So I feel like their finishes are on the soft side. I can actually imagine some companies calling this metallic shade satin, and those satin shades that I just put on in the beginning, those 2 Alt and Apt, I could see that being described as kind of like a soft matte. So that's Ion, the metallic. I just added it right there. And then I want to go in with Eve, this shimmer color in this beautiful, beautiful green. I just think it's so gorgeous. I couldn't resist picking it out. So I'm going to take my Rephr number 2 brush. It's a flat shader. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this. And I think I mentioned this before, like there's no fallout, but even when you stick your brush into these pans, like there's no kick up or anything. So they are really, really creamy, that is for sure. And the good thing is I don't see any like hard pan forming, which can happen if a shadow is a little bit too creamy. But these all still look pretty good. I'm sorry if you can hear some humming. I feel like the AC is blowing like underneath my door and creating a hum. Anyway, we're still getting used to the new house here. Okay, the Refer 2 brush, I'm picking up Eve, and I'm just going to add this to my outer corner here. And then I'm just sweeping it in. And again, it's definitely more shimmery than the metallic, like there's little micro glitters in there, but it is a very subtle kind of shimmer shade. So I really appreciate the finishes of these. You know, I'm not like the boldest eyeshadow wearer, so I like that they're a little bit more muted in terms of finish. Not the color, not the pigmentation, but in terms of the finish, they seem just a little bit more muted, which is nice. It's nice for someone like me. I'm just gonna take this Clean Worker 2 brush and blend out this green a little bit here. All right, and last but not least, I'm gonna take this black matte shade. What's the name of this? Ace. I'm gonna take this. As you guys know, I like using eyeshadow as eyeliner, and I've got my Sonia G Smudger 1 brush. And when I use a shadow this way, like right at my lash line, and I'm making these like small little strokes, that is the true test whether or not I'm gonna get fallout. So no fallout from that matte black shade. That could be a first, like absolutely no fallout. Interesting. The other call out to the formula of these eyeshadows is that I believe they're talc free. Actually, let me just check the box here. Yes, they are talc free. So just an FYI. I'm really amazed at how there's no fallout whatsoever. You know, much like the Armani blush, because it's kind of like this different formula. I feel like these Hourglass eyeshadows are quite different. I really have never kind of felt or like worked with anything quite like this, where they're really creamy, but they're not a cream shadow, and they kind of behave like a cream shadow. I don't know, they're very interesting, and there's like zero fallout. And let me just look at the pans again. Oh, okay, the matte actually had a little bit of kick up, but the rest of these like had no like residual powder in the pans. Just really interesting. Anyway, it's just something I'm gonna have to get used to, but first impressions, again, much like the blush, I really enjoy them. I think they work really nicely. All right, let me curl my eyelashes, and then we'll go ahead and play with the 1999 mascara. All right, so here is the 1999 Lash Tint Mascara. And again, I don't know much about this brand, but they package all their products in these cool little bags, which is really nice in terms of waste reduction. Oh wow, the brush is really tiny. It looks more like an eyebrow brush. Oh, but that's really cool. So it's like a triangle shape, this brush. It's definitely on the drier side. I don't feel like I have a ton of product on the brush, but that's okay. If you guys have been with me for any amount of time, you know that I am a light mascara wearer. All right, so that was the 1999 Lash Tint Mascara. Lastly, let's try some of these Bobbi Brown lip shines. So I have some of these shades, so I am not going to swatch them because I can give them away. So this is Bare Pink Sparkle, which I do have, very pretty. So I'm gonna tuck that away. I think I also have Bare Pink, yeah, which is almost like a color changing one. And then I think I also have Bare Nude. Let me look at it. Yes, I have Bare Nude already as well. So I'm gonna tuck these three away. So I'm left with three. Here are some swatches. So first we have Bare Blackberry. Next we have Bare Punch. And then we have Bare Raspberry. These are all really pretty, but I think you guys know me and would probably bet that I would use Bare Punch, which I am. So let's go ahead and apply this one. I was kind of hoping it was gonna smell like fruit punch. It smells, does it smell slightly fruity? I can't tell. I actually can't tell if it smells like anything. Maybe lightly? Anyway, barely perceptible if there is a fragrance, but I don't think so. All right, so there is Bare Punch on the lips. I like it. It definitely turns a little bit more pink than what it looks like in the tube. In the tube, I would think it would be a little bit more corally, but can you see that? It turns a little bit more pink on my lips. But either way, very pretty. All right. That is it for this trying new makeup video. I hope you enjoyed it. I am really, really intrigued by these Armani Neo Nude Color Bombs. They're really, really cool. I'm definitely gonna have to try them on my eyes and see how it works there. I find products that are marketed for different spots on your face. Sometimes they work great on one spot, they don't really work great on the other, but very, very interesting formula. And then these Hourglass eyeshadows, like I said, it's a very unique formula and I'm definitely gonna have to play around with them a little bit more. But from what I can tell, I really like the way they perform. Very, very easy to use. And everything else I used is really quite lovely. The brow gel, the mascara. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in and thanks for putting up with this new space, which is still echoey. The lighting is weird. I get that humming from the AC, so I apologize. But we're gonna get it all straightened out as soon as I settle in a little bit more. But thanks again for tuning in and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.